two more questions about Cape, specifically about the nuts and bolts of marketing Cape, because I noticed you've got a fantastic curriculum guide at your site to help, I assume, teachers and students who want to utilize Cape and get their history in there along with the fun of superheroes. Who wrote that, and how does that help you in marketing the book? And how can authors listening go and do likewise?
Okay, so I do like the idea of being in a classroom and reaching kids with the history, and so I have been very lucky with some of these, with these books in connecting with teachers who are aspiring teachers, retired teachers, or current teachers, helping with the curriculum and classroom guides. So I just had put out the call on SCBWI for Illinois to, hey, does anybody do this? And I could use some help. And lots of people jumped at the offer because there's lots of teachers who are writing kids' books and have a great knowledge. So I connected with somebody named Christina. Her name is on there at the very last page, but Christina Moorhead, and she is amazing. And so we talked about, I talked about a little bit of what I was looking for and the discussion around these women mathematicians, and that they're characters in the book, but they're real people. And there's a character in the book who is one of the first spies talked about during World War II, and he's considered, there's an entire adult biography about him, that he's the first hero of World War II because he was a Nazi double agent helping us. So trying to find like those nuggets that might be worthwhile in a classroom. So I feel like she just knocked it out of the park with that curriculum guide. I feel very happy about it. So hopefully teachers will, it's multi-page. I can't remember how many pages it is, but hopefully there will be something in there that a teacher might be excited about, doing in the classroom.
With something like that, do you need to run that by the team and get the publisher's approval, or is that something you could do just as a one-off on your own?
I did that on my own. I noticed that on the Simon & Schuster website, they do have some curriculum stuff for my book and a few others that could be used in the classroom. So they're definitely thinking about using it in the classroom too. But there are some things that, and I'm still not sure where the line is. There are some things that, you're responsible for as the author. It's kind of on you. Like I had to build my own website and I pay to maintain that, and I do the editing of it. So if there's a bunch of stuff that's wrong on there, it's on me. So but then the publishing house also can be super supportive, in other things. So like, for example, I did a trailer, and I paid for and found somebody to do the trailer. They're not willing to shovel out for those. But like, for example, right here, I have a bunch of nice bookmarks that they did, and they're high quality, and they sent these to me. And so they covered that expense. And so, there's things that they'll do and things that they won't do. But as far as curriculum, I just wanted to make sure and have a little bit of creative control over it, that it was on my website and as, accessible as possible for teachers to get to.
Have you, you might tell me to decline the answer and we'll move on, but have you encountered any morality clauses or any contracts you've come across so far?
Oh, yeah, like I have to behave myself. Yes, and I'm not going to post anything stupid on Twitter.
I mean, I assume that
I'll try to avoid them.
Anything that's going to conflict to keep you from doing anything you'd want to do anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was coming in one of my recent contracts that I signed. Like they kept saying, "Oh my gosh, this is delayed because of the morality clause." And I was like, what? But, contracts have been lost over these things. Like it's a new reality. And behavior that wasn't in the past accounted, there was no accountability for behavior. Now, who's going to be accountable if you're a crummy person, you or you're a book publisher? So, again, it gets back to play nice.
Do you mind sharing just a couple of general specifics? What kind of stuff are you not allowed to say on Twitter?
Oh, I don't think it got specific like that. I'm trying to remember what it said. It's been quite a while since it came across my desk. But, I think it's mostly like behavior at conferences, that you're not going to try to extract sexual favors for, mentorship. think that's like clause number 3. I don't think it's like written, but I think that maybe there was some misbehavior at conventions, and then who's responsible? The individual is responsible, but if you bring shame to the publishing house, be prepared that they might cut you. So I think they're just sort of expanding on that. Do I feel censored in any way? No, because my goal personally is not to act like that.
Sure.
So, but I mean, I do know.
We live in a world where there's always a couple of jerks that run it for the rest of us, because the vast majority of authors I've ever met have been wonderful people that wouldn't do that, whether you told them they couldn't or not.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like that. This is why we can't have nice things, But yeah, so I have had a few friends who are like, I'm not going to sign a morality clause. They're not going to control me. But I think when it came down to it for me, I was like, I don't anticipate doing these things at a conference. I'm going to try not to post anything racist or deeply offensive on social media. And maybe we all should kind of keep that in check too, So I don't know.
As somebody who is never gonna, I try to avoid racism and sexism just in general.
See what I mean?
It's not a concern. I haven't been confronted with a morality cause, so I don't have strong feelings either way. I'm just curious to keep the conversation going and seeing where authors. But for the record, it's not a problem for you. You haven't come across anything that was.
I have not felt censored or that my voice is. I don't feel like threatened in any way as a creative person. I just kind of felt like it was reaffirming that go forth and not be an ass.
You'd think that'd be easy, but for some people, it's just not.
It needs to be documented and signed. It needs to be wrapped in a legal bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, no names. We can't mention people who need that guideline.